All right, everyone, welcome back to today's show. My name is Matt Morris. Thank you all for tuning in. Folks, we are going live with an off-schedule emergency broadcast because we just got some breaking news. You see, as it would seem, everyone's favorite Somalian congressional representative, Ilhan Omar, and by favorite, I mean least favorite, probably one of our most incompetent, lowest IQ congressional reps, Ilhan Omar, all the way from Somalia is where she's from. She might be getting congressionally impeached. And in fact, beyond that, President Trump himself might instruct our State Department to revoke her citizenship, at which point she can be deported back to Somalia from whence she came. And I'm sure you're wondering how is that even possible? Under what pretense, under what justification? Well, folks, we're going to break all of that stuff down today. So real quick, everybody make sure to hit the like button. We are live on Rumble. We are live on YouTube, Matt Morris TV, everywhere. Let's get into this, folks. Thank you all very much for tuning in. Here we go. Breaking news. President Trump has just accused Ilhan Omar of immigration fraud, setting the stage for possible revocation of her citizenship and subsequent deportation to Somalia. Please make it happen, President Trump. Now, President Trump today, he posted himself personally on Truth Social 2 different posts dedicated to Ilhan Omar, the Somalian. And so we're going to read through these and we're going to break down what's going on. We're going to take a look at some stuff that Ilhan Omar has been saying over the last couple days, namely as it relates to Charlie Kirk. She's really just a disgusting, vile Somalian human. She's a real nasty Somalian. She's a real vile, nasty Somalian. So here we go. This is what Donald Trump had to say. Ilhan Omar's country of Somalia is plagued by a lack of central government control, persistent poverty, hunger, resurgent terrorism, piracy, decades of civil war, corruption, and pervasive violence. True. Pause. Somalia, folks, by the way, is one of the least successful countries in the entire world. There are a lot of countries that are third world hellholes plagued by violence and terrorism and cannibalism and whatever. Somalia, folks, might actually be the worst. Somalia might just be the single worst country on the face of the planet, and there are a lot of countries that I would not want to go to. Somalia might be the top of that list. Let's keep on reading. Somalia is consistently ranked among the world's most corrupt countries, including bribery, embezzlement, and a dysfunctional government. This saying that Somalia has a, quote, dysfunctional government, that actually is too generous. There is no government. There is no government. It's not that it's dysfunctional. There literally is no government. The country is led by a series of warlords that kill each other as they see fit. It's just mayhem. It's just carnage. It's up there with Haiti. All of this, Trump goes on to say, all of this, and Ilhan Omar tells us how to run America, our country? P.S. Wasn't she the one that married her brother in order to gain citizenship? What scum we have in our country telling us what to do and telling us how to do it. Thank you for your attention to this matter. President Trump is going scorched earth. Maybe I use that phrase too much, scorched earth. He just called Ilhan Omar, the Somalian, scum from her homeland, Somalia, which is likewise scum. He says, how dare you come in our country? We've taken you into our country. You fled from your own country, this third world hellhole that is otherwise known as Somalia. We accepted you into this nation with open arms, and you have the audacity as a refugee and as an immigrant to come over here and make fun of our dead Americans like Charlie Kirk? What a disgrace. You are scum. You come from scum. And by the way, also, aren't you here under false pretenses? Also, hey, little side note, Ilhan, Omar, scum, Somalian scum. Didn't you illegally come into this country by lying about being married to your brother? How dare you? How dare you sneak in this country, lie about your immigration status, marry your own brother, forge the documentation, and then you have the audacity to tell us, Americans, what we can do and what we can't do in our own country? You are scum, Ilhan Omar, mocking the death of this man, Charlie Kirk. Let's keep on going here, folks, because this is just the beginning. This is Ahmed Noor Saeed Elmi. He is Representative Ilhan Omar's full-blooded brother. I think some people in the country are not aware that Ilhan Omar married her own brother, her biological brother, to sneak in our country to, lie about her immigration status, whatever. Well, guess what? Little bit of a background check here, some background information. This is Ahmed Noor Saeed Elmi. They sure look similar, don't they? Real beautiful people. Ilhan Omar legally married Ahmed Noor Saeed Elmi in 2009. She later divorced him in 2017. She married him, her own brother, her own biological brother, who was already in our country before her somehow. We got to look into that. We got to look into how he got in the country in the first place. She married him to break U.S. immigration law and defraud America. Federal laws broken, marriage fraud, 8 U.S. Code 1325C, Immigration and Nationality Act, the INA, 8 U.S.C. 1325, incest law. Fun fact, hey, listen, fun fact about Somalia, incest is actually super popular there. They love incest. It's one of their favorite things to do. The rates of incest in Somalia are through the roof. They might be one of the most incestuous countries on the face of the planet. And so I'm sure that for Ilhan Omar and her biological brother, what's his name? Ahmed Noor Saeed Elmi, I'm sure that for them, it's really no big deal that they are getting married, brother, sister. That's just how they do it when in Somalia, do as the Somalians do, I suppose. No thank you for me, though. So anyway, this is what she did to get in the country. This is well documented. This is not conspiratorial speculation. This is well known. She snuck in the, she lied to get in the country. Now she is a sitting congressional representative, except it's not somehow. We know exactly how. By the way, her district is insanely disproportionately Somalian. The district that she represents, that's how, you have a district, people vote in the district, and you become the representative, you go to Congress. If you win the election, that is. Her district is probably the most Somalian district in the United States of America. They jam-pack, in fact, it's actually racially gerrymandered. We have talked about racial gerrymandering a lot over the last couple weeks. And so this is yet another far-left, radically progressive, racially gerrymandered district, probably unconstitutional the way that this district has been gerrymandered. They shoved as many Somalian immigrants into this district as possible, and guess what? They decided to elect the immigration fraud, radical far-left, communist, Somalian idiot, Ilhan Omar, who married her own brother. All the Somalians got together and they voted for Somalian incest. The incestuous Somalian representative Ilhan Omar is who they voted for. So we love that. Hey, listen, the country we have these days is not the country you guys used to have 50 or 60 years ago. Those of you that are older in the audience, the country's changed a little bit. Now we have incestuous Somalians representing entire districts in the country, serving in Congress, making fun of dead Americans like Charlie Kirk. Man, don't you just love it? Don't you love the way that this country is going? Let's keep on reading here because Donald Trump was not done. He said, does Ilhan Omar know any of these people? Are they from her wonderfully managed home country of Somalia? Donald Trump is going in on Somalia. Donald Trump is going scorched earth on Somalians. Good God, good Lord. And you know what? I'm here for it. All right, okay. Donald Trump, let's go. Keep it up. I like this energy here. So he says, hey, does Ilhan Omar know any of these people? Seems like they're also from her beloved home country of Somalia. What is he talking about? This other account on Twitter, on X, Libs of TikTok, posted a status saying, 8 individuals charged in massive Medicaid fraud scheme, which resulted in $8.4 million in stolen Medicaid billings in Minnesota. The individuals targeted, I think you folks might notice that their names, there's kind of a common denominator here amongst the names of these Minnesotans, of these Minnesotan people. Mokhtar Has Aden, Mustafa Daib Ali, Khalid Ahmed Daib, Abdi Fittah Mahmoud Mohammed, Christopher Adesoho Falade, Emmanuel Oluwade Malade Falade, Assad Ahmed Ado, Anwar Ahmed Ado. I feel like I am watching the Dune movie. And Lisan Al-Gaib from the desert planet of Arrakis. Hold up, wait a minute. Did the Lisan Al-Gaib, did he steal a bunch of Medicaid money from the taxpayers? What is going on here? No, they're all just Somalians. They're all just Somalians. And by the way, the Somalian fraud in this country does not end here. Really, this is just a drop in the barrel, a drop in the bucket of the Somalian taxpayer fraud that we have seen in this country. I made a video about this probably 5 or 6 months ago. Some of you might remember this. There was I forget the exact number. It was hundreds of millions of dollars, like 500 or 600 millions of dollars worth of federal PPP loan fraud from the COVID era. Remember when the COVID pandemic was going on and the government was giving out all of these PPP loans and people could get them? It was just like free money. The vetting and the checking going into who was getting it was minimal. And so there was a huge amount of fraud. Well, there was a Somalian crime syndicate, I kid you not, in the district that Ilhan Omar represents herself. In Ilhan Omar's district, the one that she was voted to represent, there was a several $100 million COVID era PPP loan fraud ring. It was a bunch of Somalians that got together and they created a fake charity saying, hey, we're going to, take this PPP government money and we're going to put together a bunch of food and meals for hungry people, for children. We're going to be feeding the youth all over Minnesota. It's going to be a noble thing during COVID. We're going to help the kids that are out of school. And they ended up feeding nobody and they stole the money. And a lot of them now have federal charges. They've already been caught. A lot of them have already been persecuted or prosecuted. And so, rumor on the block is, I guess at this point it's speculation, is that Ilhan Omar was actually a part of this. She was receiving kickbacks, allegedly. This was going on in her district by literally dozens of Somalians, and they were all exclusively Somalian. Okay, all of them. It was a Somalian crime syndicate that was defrauding American taxpayers hundreds of millions of dollars. So this $8.4 million worth of stolen Medicaid, hey, that's like nothing compared to what they've been doing and what they've been trying to get away with here. Okay, what they have gotten away with, a lot of it. God, good Lord. Let's keep on reading here. Charlie Kirk was assassinated 8 days ago. Ilhan Omar, the Somalian, she's an illegal immigrant. She lied about her status entering the country. Ilhan Omar, the Somalian illegal immigrant who should be deported back to Somalia, the hellhole from whence she came, has been very forthright with her thoughts about Charlie Kirk. And I want to play some of this for you guys. Take a look at this. Ilhan Omar attended a church the other day, a couple days ago on Sunday, I would assume, so that she could lecture the congregation about how evil Charlie Kirk is. Take a look.
I said that the people who were full of shit were the people who were saying that Kirk was civil.
The people who are full of shit are the people that have been saying that Charlie Kirk was civil. She said this, 5 days ago on Sunday. Okay, let's hear her out.
Thank you. No, absolutely not.
Someone in the audience said he was civil. Charlie Kirk was civil. And now, here we go.
The person who called for public execution of people he disagreed with is not civil. The person who said you are a black woman, you lack the ability to process thoughts is not civil. The person who said because I am Muslim, I cannot be in this country because I want to destroy Western society is not civil. The person who said a 10-year-old should be forced to carry the child of her rapist is not civil. You and I.
It's getting loud. Look at these idiots. I'm sorry, I'm going to be rude. And all of them, a lot of them here are clapping like seals at this notion. They're in a church getting lectured by the Muslim Somalian illegal immigrant about how Charlie Kirk was not civil, about how he was evil, about how he deserved to be gunned down. And these idiots in the congregation, I'm sorry, are clapping like seals, and it pisses me off that they are tolerating this disrespect. By the way, let's go ahead and break this down. She made a couple allegations here of things that Charlie Kirk supposedly said. All of these things have been debunked. She made the allegation that Charlie Kirk said that black women are incapable of rational thought. Charlie Kirk never said that. Did Charlie Kirk ever say that Muslims can't be in our country, period, ever? No, he did not say that. This is just a bunch of debunked baloney that she is spouting off here in a church on a Sunday, no less. And these people are clapping along. You know, I refuse to believe that these are actual, real, authentic people. They have to be bussed in from somewhere. I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know. But also, listen, you know what? Even if Charlie Kirk did say these things, free speech is civil. Speech is not violence. That type of speech, at least, is not violence. Even if Charlie Kirk did say the things that she said he said, and a lot of it he didn't, but even if he did, it is his God-given American right to say it. Our founding fathers fought and bled and died, sacrificed everything for Charlie Kirk to be able to say those things. And by the way, I would imagine that our founding fathers agreed with a whole hell of a lot more with Charlie Kirk than with Ilhan Omar, the illegal Somalian alien. That's my opinion. Like President Trump said, the audacity, the gall, the absolute audacity of this illegal alien who lied about her immigration status. She incestuously married her own brother to sneak into our country to defraud all of us Americans, violating our democratically agreed upon immigration legislation. From Somalia, we took her in. I mean, we didn't, but anyway, this is a country she found herself in. She snuck in the country, coming from what is probably the worst single country on the face of the planet. You would think that she would try to lay low, that she would try to fit in, that she would not try to, ruffle any feathers or cause any waves, that she would try to pursue the American dream. Does it seem like she has assimilated here? Or does it seem like she is trying to turn our country into Somalia 2.0? She has spent, by the way, she has been open about this. There's video footage of her saying this explicitly. She said to her Somalian electorate, while speaking Somalian, we can find the video if you want. She said, "My purpose in this country is to represent the interests of Somalians." Woman, go back to where you came from. If your sole and exclusive purpose in this country is to operate for the benefit of Somalian immigrants like you, hey, what about all of us Americans? What about us Americans that actually built the country that you are trying to leech off of? If you want a country that's built by Somalians, for Somalians, for the betterment of Somalians, hey, here's an idea. Go back to Somalia. I'm sure a lot of us would be happy for you to do that. I'll personally buy you a plane ticket. Honestly. I'll give you a parachute. We can drop you in. Ilhan Omar also appeared on this podcast here, likewise after the death of Charlie Kirk, to further slander his good name. Take a look.
what I do know for sure is that, Charlie was someone who once said, guns save lives, after a school shooting. Charlie was someone who was willing to debate and downplay the death of George Floyd in the hands of Minneapolis police.
I think he called him a scumbag.
Right, have no regard.
George Floyd was a scumbag. He was a violent career criminal fentanyl junkie who just moments before dying from a drug overdose, by the way, we have the autopsy, we have the coroner's report, he overdosed. The knack on the back did nothing. He was going to die anyway. He swallowed an entire bag of fentanyl because he was trying to conceal it from the police. The police were in pursuit of him because he had just gotten done trying to rob a convenience store. Not long before that, he held up a pregnant woman who was 8 months pregnant at gunpoint, trying to steal her money. This guy was a scumbag. George Floyd was a scumbag. Also, by the way, we need a pardon for Derek Chauvin. Derek Chauvin was wrongfully imprisoned. This guy did not get a fair trial. We got to get him out of prison. Listen, George Floyd was a scumbag. Also, by the way, about the gun crime thing, guns save lives, whatever she just said, it is possible to be pro-gun and value the Second Amendment and also not want to get shot in the neck and die. I don't know. Maybe this needs to be explained. Maybe this has to be explained to the far left in this country who seem to be competent, cognitively challenged here. It is possible to be a Second Amendment advocate, which is, by the way, once again, the Second Amendment of our Constitution, the second most important one, and also not want to get shot in the face and die and assassinated publicly for exercising your First Amendment right. Let's keep on playing the video here.
Floyd in the hands of Minneapolis police.
I think he called him a scumbag.
Right, have no regard, downplay slavery and what Black people have gone through in this country by saying Juneteenth should never exist. And I think, there are a lot of people who are out there talking about.
Honestly, listen, hey, Ilhan Omar, you're not one of the American Black people that has deep roots in this country. Your bloodline, your family has not been here for 400 years. Okay? If America really is so bad, you don't have history here, Ilhan Omar. If America really is just this terrible place for Black people to be, by all means, go back to Somalia. Somalia is 100% Somalians. You don't have a lot of immigrants there. If you want a country, once again, that is by Somalians, for Somalians, because America is just so racist and terrible for Black people, once again, hey, by all means, get the hell out. Go back to Somalia. I think a lot of us would be happy to see that.
About him just wanting to have a civil debate.
Complete rewriting of history.
Yeah, there is nothing more effed up, than to completely pretend that his words and actions have not been recorded and in existence for the last decade or so.
And I'm happy that Charlie Kirk's words and messages were recorded for the last decade or so because he was a very smart man. He was a bright young man. In fact, I want to show you. This is something that he said 3 years ago. This is from Charlie Kirk himself. We have Charlie Kirk's thoughts on this. Charlie Kirk said, Ilhan Omar is the perfect example of why we need an immigration moratorium in America. Man, Charlie Kirk really was a very smart guy. Rest his soul. Bless him and his family. Charlie Kirk was one sharp guy, and you know what? He was totally right about this. We got to get her out. I'm going to like that. Get her out of the country. This woman should have never been allowed to come in. Her and her incestuous brother should have never been allowed to enter this country. And all of her Somalian voters in whatever the hell district she comes from in Minnesota, they should not be in the country either. Let's continue on. Congressional Representative Brandon Gill, who is not a fan of Ilhan Omar, gave his thoughts just the other day. Take a look here.
Just a few days ago, a member of Congress of this body, Ilhan Omar, shared a video on her social media account about Charlie Kirk's murder, and I'll quote what it said. It said, Charlie Kirk was Dr. Frankenstein, and his monster shot him through the neck.
Just
In other
sick.
words, Charlie had it coming to him. The words that he said naturally led to his assassination. I mean, that is a reprehensible thing for a member of Congress to say, to suggest, to promote in any capacity. And there are people across this country who are losing their jobs for far less than this. And that, by the way, is a just response to acceptance and tolerance of political violence.
So once again, we are talking about Ilhan Omar here. Representative Brandon Gill's talking about Ilhan Omar here, who said that Charlie Kirk is Frankenstein who got shot in the neck by Frankenstein's monster. Wow. Like he said, the implication, what's the implication here? What is the undertone? What's the message here? Is that Charlie Kirk deserved it. That he said so many reprehensible, terrible, evil things that, well, he deserved it. You hear this rhetoric a lot from the left these days. This idea that if you say something that upsets me, hey, you know, let's do some role playing here. Hey, everybody, I'm a member of the far left. If you say something that hurts my feelings or offends my sensibilities, or even just slightly upsets me, I get to kill you now. I get to assassinate you now. These are the new rules that they themselves are advocating for. You see this sentiment being expressed all up and down the left side of this country that if we over here on the right say something that offends them or bothers them or that they don't agree with, that our murder, that our assassination is justified or at least morally justified or something. These people are sick. This is mental illness. These people have been propagandized and radicalized into the point where they actually think that political assassinations, such as the one we saw 8 days ago, it's totally fine. It's all good because Charlie Kirk was just a big meanie because he said a couple mean things that they didn't like. It's insane. Now, not Charlie Kirk, Ilhan Omar was hit with a House ethics complaint just earlier today over some of the stuff, the disgusting, terrible, vile stuff we've just taken a look at about the Charlie Kirk assassination. I want to go through some of this stuff. This is breaking news today. This happened just hours ago. It is the latest move in the GOP-led fallout over Omar's response to the assassination of Charlie Kirk, a conservative activist who was shot and killed in Utah during a college campus speaking event last week. Rest in peace. I will be filing tomorrow a complaint with the Committee on Ethics in the House of Representatives with 18 very concerning incidents and or behaviors and or statements that on their face reflect poorly on the House of Representatives. The floor said about Ilhan Omar. 18. Not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. 18 of these disgusting, vile incidents, these things that she has said, just in the last 8 days alone. I mean, guys, Charlie Kirk's body isn't even in the ground. We haven't even had the funeral yet. And she has taken it upon herself to just trash talk him in the most vile, disgusting way, try to besmirch his good name 18 times in 8 days. She's averaging over 2 times per day. Over 2 times per day, if you do the math on that. Get this woman out of the country. And by the way, we're gonna talk about her getting deported here in a minute and her citizenship getting revoked. We're gonna double back to that, but bear with me here. The top of the list of complaints will include the Progressive Democrats' obnoxious, insulting, and dismissive comments following the assassination of Charlie Kirk. Yeah, to say the least. Second, she's been harboring illegal immigrants. I believe in February of this year that Ilhan Omar hosted a workshop during which she advised Somalian illegal immigrants on how to avoid being deported after protecting the laws of the United States. By the way, yeah, we all know this. This is her right here. If you guys are curious as to what Somalian, the beautiful Somalian language sounds like, this is her in February hosting a workshop in which she instructed illegal aliens, Somalian illegal aliens, on how to avoid apprehension and deportation. Yes, literally, she did that. Take a look.
Ilhan Omar oo dhawaan la hadashay saxaafadda
waxaan ula talinayaa dadka Soomaalida ah haddii ay maxaa la dhahaa ii sheeg.
What a disgusting language. I'm not going to play any more of that. Just a sickeningly gross language. Ew. But she says, if ICE attempts to question you, you are not obligated to answer their questions. Just state what you were advised by a lawyer and to not answer questions. So she's literally coaching. This is a sitting member of U.S. Congress, an elected congressional representative. who is coaching and instructing Somalian illegal aliens from her home country of Somalia. Remember, she's a Somalian. She is instructing them on how to avoid apprehension deportation. So yeah, that did happen 7 months ago, shortly after President Trump stepped back into the White House. Number 3, she's been using TikTok for mixed official and campaign content, which specifically violates other House rules. There's a House rule saying that there has to be a clear delineation between the two personal content on social media and public official government content on social media. She has decided that she wants to abuse her position as a Somalian congressional representative to try to become TikTok famous. She wants to be a Somalian congressional representative, famous influencer. She's trying to make a little money on TikTok. Just a complete and total abuse of her position. Let's keep on reading. There were 4 House Republicans to help Omar narrowly avoid being censured by the House on Wednesday evening. This happened just hours ago. It was yesterday evening, actually. Today's Thursday. There were 4 Republicans in the House that voted to not censure her. I want to give you the names because these people, who are they? Who are the 4? The measure was blocked by a narrow 214 to 213 vote. The 4 Republicans who voted in favor on the side of Ilhan Omar, Representative Mike Flood, Representative Tom McClintock, Representative Jeff Hurd, and Corey Mills. 4 Republicans who actually voted to not censure her in Congress, Ilhan Omar in Congress. Why the hell would they do that? I don't know. I think we might have a little bit of a rhino problem, if you know what I mean. Let's keep on reading here. Representative Nancy Mace moved to force a vote on censuring Omar over her reaction to Kirk's killing, but the move was quashed when 4 Republicans and all the Democrats voted to table the measure. Flood said at the time that Ilhan Omar's statements on social media posts are reprehensible and should be referred to the Ethics Committee. The appropriate time to consider a censure motion would be after ethics reviews her conduct. What do you mean after ethics reviews her conduct? We can all see her conduct because she's uploading TikTok videos. She's not exactly shy about her disgusting, vile anti-American rhetoric. It needs to be reviewed. Reviewed by the... Okay, dude. Okay. I want to take a look at some super chats here real quick. This is from Rocks and Cows. This is beyond embarrassing for Minnesota, as if we needed any more. Imagine us going to her mosque, all drunk and belligerent with ham supper for all and decked out in MAGA gear. So who's going with me? I mean, this is another classic case of somebody like her trying to hijack the Christian faith. She doesn't give one damn about Christian ethics or Christian morality, but she's more than happy to try to manipulate a bunch of Christians to try to, serve her own agenda, which is really, what is her agenda? To flood this country with as many Muslim Somalians as she possibly can. Her goal is to get as many Somalians in this country as she possibly can. And by the way, I hate to say it, regrettably, she has proven to be pretty successful at that. She's done a good job at that. Something's got to be stopped. Something's got to be done about this. Take a look at this. Another one. Have I mentioned that Minneapolis and a few other places, there's 75 mosques? 10 years ago, there were 25. I know. Yeah, it's getting nuts. There are places in this country that are just being totally overtaken. Regular ethnic Americans. I would consider myself to be an ethnic. I'm a founding stock American. My family showed up in this country before it was even a country. It was 1635. 1635. This is about 140, 150 years before this country even was a country. And now, people like you, people like me, I think a lot of you folks are in the same boat, are being replaced in our own country by Somalian immigrants that are coming in the country after lying about their immigration status because they incestuously married their own brothers to defraud our system. Okay? Yeah, this is a problem. Yeah, if your family has roots in this country, you've been here a long time, your people helped build this country, your blood helped build the country, you have every single right to be pissed off about this. Of course you do. In fact, I would say it's your obligation to be pissed off about this. Flood pointed out that he similarly voted to table a censure against Representative LaMonica McIver, another Democrat, for her conduct outside of a New Jersey ICE facility. Well, dude, that just means you're stupid times 2. That just means you made one stupid decision, and now you've made another stupid decision. What are you trying to prove? How stupid you are? She should have been censured also. Both of them should have been censured. This woman, she was outside that ICE facility a couple months ago in New Jersey, berating and maybe even physically abusing, assaulting ICE officers. She should have been censured also. Unbelievable. He also disagreed with the other 3 House Republicans who all said Omar's comments were protected by the First Amendment. He said, this is not a free speech issue. This is a, have you demonstrated that you are behaving at all times in a manner that reflects credibility on the House issue? If that is your standard, are these people behaving in a way that reflects positively about the House? The answer is no, dude. What are you doing? Omar specifically has faced backlash over an interview with progressive news outlet Zdio, where she criticized Kirk's past commentary and Republicans' reaction to the shooting. She later accused Republicans of taking her words out of context, and she called Kirk's death mortifying. Oh, she's saying that the Republicans, we have taken her words out of context. We just played a couple videos of hers. You know what's nuts is that what she has been doing is taking Charlie Kirk's words out of context. She has been manipulating and decontextualizing Charlie Kirk's words. And now she's saying that we're doing that to her. Listen, sweetheart. Listen, Somalian sweetheart. We have you on video. We know the type of stuff you've been saying. We know the type of stuff you've been posting on the internet. We've seen it all. She previously told Zdio days after Kirk's assassination that he had, quote, downplayed slavery and what black people have gone through in this country by saying Juneteenth shouldn't exist. I'm thinking of one black person in this country that should be deported back to Somalia. And that black person is Ilhan Omar. There are a lot of people who are out there talking about him just wanting to have a civil debate. The Ilhan Omar said, there was nothing more effed up, like than to completely pretend that, his words and actions have not been recorded and in existence for the last decade or so. So here she is saying that because Charlie Kirk allegedly said some controversial or hurtful things, whatever that means, that he deserved to be shot, she's saying, well, I mean, it kind of makes sense that somebody killed him considering all the crazy fascist stuff he said. That's the way it goes. That's pretty much what she's saying here. Once again, disgusting, reprehensible. Let's keep on reading. She later posted on X amid the backlash, while I disagreed with Charlie Kirk vehemently about his rhetoric, my heart breaks for his wife and children. I don't wish violence on anyone. My faith teaches me the power of peace, empathy, and compassion. Right-wing accounts trying to spin a false story when I condemned his murder multiple times is fitting for their agenda to villainize the left and hide from the fact that Donald Trump gins up hate on a daily basis. You know what? Once again, Ilhan Omar, if you really do care about Charlie Kirk's legacy, I think we should honor one of his wishes. That wish being that we need to impose an immigration moratorium in this country and also deport you, Ilhan, back to Somalia. It's what Charlie Kirk would have wanted, and we know that because he posted it on the internet in front of hundreds of thousands of people. I think we should listen to Charlie on this one. He was a smart guy. We're going to keep on going here. President Trump gave one final weigh-in on this on Air Force One earlier today. He actually, on video, addressed this Ilhan Omar stuff. Take a look at this.
I think she should be impeached. I think she's terrible. Is she originally from Somalia? Yes, sir. So how are they doing this? How's their government? Do they have a president? Do they have a council? Do they have anything? Do they have police? I love these people that come from a place with nothing, no anything, and then they tell us how to run our country. No, I think if she got censured, that's great. If she got impeached, that's even better. They impeached me twice for nothing. And they impeached me knowing the Republicans are on my side, so they knew it was just, but they impeached me twice. She should be impeached, and it should happen fast.
He says she should be impeached. By the way, this video was taken on Air Force One before he posted some of these other tweets that we're going to double back on and just check in on again. So he's talking about censuring. That ended up not happening because we have 4 rhinos that voted against it. Now, he's also talking about impeaching her. With the current makeup of the House of Representatives right now, we would need 218 votes in the House to impeach her in the House, and then 67 votes in the Senate to actually criminally try her, kick her out, make her lose her job. Okay, so we do technically have the numbers, the Republicans, to impeach her in the House of Representatives. She could be impeached. We have the 218 votes. However, given the fact that 4 rhinos decided censuring her was not the right move, are they going to sign on to impeach her? Probably not. Even if she was impeached, doesn't really mean a whole lot. Like Trump says, you remember he was impeached twice. Kind of doesn't matter unless you're able to push it through the Senate. You need 67 votes to push it through the Senate. That's not going to happen. We only have, 50? We have 53 in the Senate. So it's not going to happen. So what is the other final move that President Trump could do? Trump could do this. He could snap his fingers and make this happen. And this is something he's talking about. President Trump fires a shot over Ilhan Omar's bow, the bow of her pirate ship, of her Somalian pirate ship. He says, P.S., wasn't she the one that married her brother in order to gain citizenship? P.S., what is this? This is President Trump playing hardball here a little bit. President Trump says, hey, Ilhan, I'm the president of the United States of America. I know the fraud you committed. I know when you entered this country, you lied about your immigration status. I want you to know, Ilhan Omar, I know that. This is documented. On a moment's notice, I could contact my boys down in the State Department. We could revoke your citizenship. Okay? It is a crime. It's against the rules. Believe it or not, you're not allowed to lie about your immigration status, all your details when you're coming in the country. She did. We know that she did. She married her own brother to get her foot in the country. President Trump knows. What he's saying here is, listen, we might not be able to impeach you. The effort to censure you in Congress might have failed. Guess what, sweetheart? I could deport your ass whenever I want. That's what this is. He say, I know what you did. Any minute, you're gone. Try me. That's what this is. And you know what? I hope he does it. You know what? Don't you agree? I hope that he does it. I love, can I just read this entire message one more time? I love what he said here. He just goes scorched earth. I need this. I need to read it again. Ilhan Omar's country of Somalia is plagued by a lack of central government control, persistent poverty, hunger, resurgent terrorism, piracy, decades of civil war, corruption, and pervasive violence. In other words, Somalia is a shithole. 70% of the population lives in extreme poverty and widespread food insecurity. Somalia is consistently ranked amongst the world's most corrupt countries, including bribery, embezzlement, and a dysfunctional government. Bit generous there. All of this, and Ilhan Omar tells us how to run America? Wasn't she the one that married her own brother to get citizenship? What scum we have in our country telling us what to do and how to do it. This is Trump saying, listen, Ilhan Omar, you are not an American like us. Your citizenship status, your passport, it might say that you're an American. You might have the paperwork that says you're an American. Ilhan Omar, you're not an American. You are Somalian scum that lied her way into this country by marrying her own brother. The country you came from is a third world shithole. All you've done, all you've accomplished in your time in this country is to defraud American taxpayers through various scams and rackets and taxpayer manipulations. You're in the House of Representatives. Somehow that happened. and you've been very clear. Your only purpose in the House of Representatives is not to represent Americans, but it's to represent your fellow Somalian immigrants. You are not an American like us. We've all been taught that America is a melting pot, blah, blah, blah. Don't they kind of have to melt into the pot for that to be true? Isn't this notion that America is a melting pot kind of predicated on this idea that they are, in fact, melting into the pot? So here's a question for you. Does it seem as if Ilhan Omar has melted into the pot, so to speak? Does it seem like Ilhan Omar has assimilated into the American way of life, into American culture? No, absolutely not. And so, folks, this is why I'm going to bed tonight. I am praying on behalf of Charlie Kirk, who we know would have wanted this, and on behalf of the United States of America, the founding fathers, who we know would have wanted this. I am going to bed. I'm praying tonight that Ilhan Omar and her brother have their citizenship revoked and that they are deported back to the third world shithole from whence they came. And ladies and gentlemen, that's going to be a wrap up for today's broadcast. This was some breaking news. I had to cover it with you guys. This could be a big deal. This is a big deal already. Trump fired a direct shot over the bow of Ilhan Omar. That's what we got to see. We got to increase the rhetoric, pick up the pace here. Okay, let them know. Trump is letting them know. Pick it up. Let's go. We're playing hardball. Listen, we're not playing softball anymore. It's time to hold these anti-American freaks accountable. And this is what that looks like. This is what step one of that looks like, at least. Everybody, we have been live on Matt Morris TV on Rumble, Matt Morris TV on YouTube. I want to say thank you all very much for tuning in today. One final request, everybody, make sure to follow me on X, Matt Morris TV. Ladies and gentlemen, we have the #1 community in the world. I appreciate it. And it's not because of me. It's because of you guys that are tuning in every day, showing support, lining up. I appreciate it, folks. Thank you. Thank you. 2 more real quick super chats, then we're done for the day. Mo Danger says, Morris Force merchandise, even if it's just stickers. I've got a little idea. I've got an idea of something. I have an idea. I'm kind of slowly cooking on something. Life has been crazy. It's been hectic, but I might have something for you guys here at some point. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Mo Danger, and this is also Rocks and Cows. She used Christian marriage, so it's legal here and meant absolutely nothing to her or any Somalian or Muslim. In fact, they champion her for it. Taqiyya. Taqiyya is this Islamic idea that it is okay, it is morally justifiable to lie in the face of a non-Muslim, because it doesn't matter, because they're not Muslims. If you're a Muslim, it's called taqiyya. You can lie to non-Muslims, and it's all good. It's no problem, because non-Muslims are lesser than Muslims. That's the idea. So, terrible idea. Could be the case here. I don't know. Could be a part of this. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to be a wrap for today's show. I want to say thank you all very much. I'll see you folks tomorrow. Thank you all. Have a great night. God bless all of you. God bless your families. I'll see you folks tomorrow afternoon. And until then, everybody stay safe and enjoy life. Thank you all very much.